P2B treason and the APC threats of parallel government in 2015 as a call for obedience to revolt against the 2023 general election. During his recent humiliating image laundering in Washington, D.C., United States of America, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, addressed some American journalists from the Washington Post, Voice of America, Associated Press, and Foreign Policy Magazine on April 4th, 2023, accusing P2B and Dati Ahmed, his running mate, of treasonable felony in the following words. And I quote Lai Mohammed. Obi and his vice, Dati Ahmed, cannot be threatening Nigerians if the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, APC, is sworn in on May 29. It will be the end of democracy in Nigeria. This is treason. You cannot be inviting insurrection. And this is what they are doing. And this is what they are doing. Obi's statement is that of a desperate person. He is not a Democrat that he claimed to be. A Democrat should not believe in democracy only when he wins election. Lai Mohammed, unquote. If Lai Mohammed is not unintelligent, incompetent, and bereft of history, he should have checked his personal historical records before venturing into Washington, D.C. to display his morbid courage and political insanity in a sane society. In November 2014, Rotimi Amaechi, then governor of Rivers State, who had just decamped from the ruling PDP to the opposition APC, made the following threats bordering on felony and parallel governments against the background of any attempt by the ruling PDP to rig the 2015 general elections. And the statement was made during the infamous APC Salvation Rally in Abuja. And let us hear what Rotimi Amaechi said. And I quote him. What is the essence of going to court when the federal government doesn't obey the law? That is why APC says we won't go to court any longer. If you rig us out, we will rig ourselves in. This means if you think you can rig us out in 2015, we form our own governments. We have met, we have agreed on that, we install our own government, and there will be two governments. The only way to avoid parallel government is to have a free and fair election. You can't continue to use the police as if it is a private agency or company of the government. Rotimi Amaechi, unquote. Following the barrage of criticisms, they greeted Amaechi's acts of felony that bordered on those statements. The APC, through its then National Publicity Secretary, who is today the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, issued a press statement on Friday, November 21st, 2014, which not only supported Rotimi Amaechi's statement or threat, but went further to reveal that the statement so made by Rotimi Amaechi was in fact the collective position and plan of the APC as Lai Mohammed stated. And let us quote him. But as I said, if Lai Mohammed is not bereft of history, he shouldn't have attacked P2B and Dati Ahmed. Let us hear what Lai Mohammed stated in a press statement he made as the National Public Secretary of then opposition APC. I quote him. Those who are fretting about this statement, he meant Amaechi's statement, are those who are planning to rig the elections, and they should be warned that Nigerians will no longer accept the outcome of any fraudulent polls. Those who incite the people are those who steal their mandates. What we made is a conditional statement. If A happens, then B will follow. That means if elections are not rigged, there will be no problem. It is therefore laughable that anyone will call that statement treasonable. There's no higher treason than the subversion of the will of the people. Lai Mohammed, unquote. It continues, and I quote it again. Let us remind the presidency, in case it has forgotten, that election fraud triggered a civil war in Nigeria in the early 1990s, led to the killing of over 1,000 people in post-election riots in Kenya in 2007 and 2008, led to the killing and fired a near revolution in Iran in 2009 and 2010. Election frauds also corrupt democracy and breed dictatorship and risk making the people to lose confidence in democracy. Why then will any government react violently if warned against election rigging? Lai Mohammed asked, unquote. He continued, PDP and the government itself, especially at the center, are lawless and anarchic. Because it is said that eternal vigilance is the price of freedom, we will constantly warn the PDP and the federal government not to tamper with 2015 elections. We will constantly chide them for trying to institutionalize impunity. We cannot and will not be intimidated by an uptight presidency. The PDP and the Jonathan administration are the masters of impunity, and they will not hesitate to exploit any sign of docility in the face of their evil intentions on the part of the opposition. The lessons are there. For us, the gloves are off. We will no longer engage in any nicety as long as some people are bent on thwarting the will of the people through electoral fraud. All we are demanding is a free, fair, and credible election. All we are saying is that no one should incite the people by stealing their mandates. All we are saying is that no one will incite the people by stealing their mandates. How these demands can be construed to mean treason is as baffling as the do or die disposition of the ruling PDP, unquote. That was Lai Mohammed speaking on November 21st, 2014, in reaction to the federal government's condemnation of Governor Rotimi Amaechi's incitement of parallel government in case the PDP rigged the 2015 election. Lai Mohammed did not start there. He didn't stop there. Neither did the APC stop there. Supporting a parallel government, if the 2015 general elections were rigged by the PDP, the then APC national chairman, Chief John Odigio Oyego, in his January 4th, 2015 New Year message, as reported by Channels Television, 8 p.m. News in Brief, warned the federal government in the following words, and I wish to quote Chief John Odigio Oyego in the following words. As a party, we assure you that we will congratulate President Jonathan and the People's Democratic Party if our presidential candidate and party are defeated in free and fair election, and we will not go to court. And we will not go to court. However, as a party, we wish to reiterate that we will not hesitate to consider forming a parallel government if the 2015 elections are rigged, either by use of security agencies, police and military, in parentheses, to harass, intimidate, and cajole voters, or through the use of a compromised independent National Electoral Commission. Chief John Odigio Oyego, unquote. In his support of parallel government, the vice presidential candidate, now the current vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in addition to his earlier statement on the parallel government, on forming the parallel government during his in-house interaction in United Kingdom, stated during the Channels Television Politics Today program on January 4th, 2015. Mark you, it was the same news in which Chief Odigio Oyego made his New Year message in form of threat that the then vice presidential candidate of the then opposition made his own statement. And I'd like to quote him at this stage. Look at cases where the government decided that they were going to ignore the wishes of the electorates and simply override the wishes of the electorates. What the opposition has usually done in those cases is to reject the result of the election and to say that they will constitute their own government. That is simply a way of taking a stand against the government and putting the government under pressure. Professor Yomi Osibajo, unquote. It should be recalled that the national chairman of APC, Chief Odigio Oyego, had earlier in his speech during the infamous November 2014 Salvation Rally in Abuja, threatened drastic actions against the PDP-led federal government in the following words, and I wish to quote him once again. If we do not see any discernible change of attitude on the part of the government, then we move to the next stage on the list of actions that our party intends to take to stop the rot being perpetuated by the PDP-led federal government, unquote. Is it not therefore a shameless act of leprous hypocrisy that the same APC, through the same incorrigible liar called Alhaji Lai Mohammed of the infamous 2015 parallel government threat, should be crying foul of dirty armies well-calculated protests against the imposition of constitutional government on Nigerians on May 29, 2023. By playing devious ostrich against what they claim what they claim to be the upholding, or what they claim in 2015 as the AP's stand over the issue of federal government. Does it not matter, or does it not stand to be stated in this case that the APC, by repeating what I accused PDP of in 2014 and 2015, are liable to the same political gallows they constructed for PDP in 2015. In other words, if the APC in 2023 committed the whole crimes, electoral crimes, more than what they expected PDP to commit in 2015, is it not morally just, therefore, to give them the same pill they planned for PDP in 2015? Because what happened in the last general election far outwitted what happened or what they expected PDP to do in 2015. In other words, Nigerians are at liberty as it stands now to go against APC in the event of their mandates being scuttled finally at the Supreme Court. Today, Nigerians are witnessing the same atrocities in more severe forms and ways the APC accused PDP of in 2014 and 2015. Nigerians have equally witnessed more heinous electoral crimes than what the APC suspected of PDP in 2015 general elections, and on which their threats of federal government was predicated. Never in the history of Nigeria as a nation has any sitting government, not even during the military regime, during Babangida and Abacha regime, brazenly used force and fraudulently used force, imperious violence, and intimidation through protected thuggery, criminalized police force, and fraudulently compromised electoral commission, fraudulently compromised INEC, so-called Independent National Electoral Commission, to rig elections against the will of the people, against the will of the electors, and against the will of the spiritual fathers and ancestors of this nation called Nigeria. The question is, as we'll expect to ask, shall Nigerians not apply the same Mordecai style justice against APC by hanging them with the same political gallows they constructed for the PDP? In other words, is it not morally justifiable that Nigerians should stand up against APC in case everything possible failed to undo this fraudulent presidential election result? This is a question I am putting up to all patriotic Nigerians, obedience and non-obedience. Shall we wait? Yes, we shall wait until the Supreme Court gives the final verdict. The fate of the Nigerian democracy, the fate of Nigeria as one nation, the fate of Nigeria as a land free of electoral frauds, the fate of Nigeria as the giant of Africa lies today in the trembling hands of the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is left for the Supreme Court to either make or mar the Nigerian nation at this point in time. It is not a matter of technicality. It is not a matter of dancing to the tune of those in power, but it's a matter of withholding what is evil against the people and declaring what is fair, credible, and truth for the people. For the whole nations are watching us. If they fail to do it, Nigerians will have no option than to ask the military to come in. You can see that in West Africa, the military government is not strange. Coup d'etat is not strange. You have had one in Guinea, you have had one in Mali, and recently in Burkina Faso. Who knows if Nigeria will be the next? The ball is in the court of the Supreme Court. And guess who will lose? It is not the people that will lose. It's not the common man that will lose if the military takes over. It is the politicians who have accumulated so much wealth at the detriment of the people that they are not afraid to leave the political scene with dignity. The generals who have also eaten fat, the senior police officers, senior military officers who are eating fat from the ongoing insurgency through illicit military contracts in the name of fighting Boko Haram, in the name of fighting bandits, without achieving any result. We also lose because those we expect will be young, vibrant, politically positive young army officers like Rawlings, like Nzobo, like Oka, like Thomas Sankara. Those will come and overturn this country for better. For it does not mind if more blood flows in this country. For as the Bible says, there can be no redemption without the shedding of blood. Thank you. God bless you. Yours sincerely, Udogu Nwankwo Tony Nwa Eze Igwe. God bless everybody as God guides us for our next line of action.